Hello YouTube, my name is Transient Lion, and I got another One Piece video. I seem to like doing these ranking lists right now, but this time instead of doing like a group of characters, what I'm going to do is rank all of the sagas from One Piece. And for those of you who don't know, in One Piece, a saga is a group of arcs. So it's not like Dragon Ball Z where you call an individual arc a saga and like groups of those a group. It's it, it's basically a it's basically as I described. The like groups of arcs that have things to do with each other are sagas in One Piece, and I am going to rank all of them from least favorite to favorite. And before I do that, I have a couple clarifiers. The first and most important one is I I am not caught up to the manga, and I don't intend to be. I am a filthy anime only watcher, so I tend to so I'm going to only rank the Yonko Saga, which is the current ongoing one in the anime. I'm going to rank that. I'm going to put its place where I think it is, where I think it should be as of where I am in the anime. And yeah, as of right now, the anime is not done with Wano yet. So just know that where I'm putting the Yonko Saga is going to reflect where I'm at in the Yonko Saga. The second thing is that this is not going to be the same thing as ranking individual arcs, because these are groupings of arcs. I'm ranking the experience as a whole rather than being like, okay, every individual arc in this saga is better than every individual arc in the saga that's below it. So like, it's a better overarching experience than the saga that it's below. So, if you ask me, that's the only qualifier. So, starting at the bottom, we have the Thriller Bark Saga. And I like Thriller Bark a lot. It's got, like, I like Moria a lot more than a lot of other people tend to. I don't really know why. I think his powers are really cool, and, like, I like the fights that happen in the Thriller Bark arc. But that's it. The Thriller Bark Saga is literally just the Thriller Bark arc. And while that arc is really good, it doesn't really have the same overarching experience that literally every other saga does. And so, I kind of have to put it below here because every other saga has, like, okay, how does the plot progress between two arcs in the saga? And this one just kind of doesn't. So that's just where I'm putting it now. Next would be the Skypia Saga, or Sky Island Saga, which is just Jaya and Skypia. I know a lot of people really don't like this stretch of the story, but those people are wrong, and I really like this part of the story. It's mainly better for the world building, and like, if you like Eneru a lot, like I do, it's a lot better. But yeah, as a saga, it doesn't really add much to the like grander overarching scope of One Piece as much, and do I do understand that that's the reason why most people don't really like this saga that much. And yeah, I can't argue that as a saga overall, it doesn't belong like near the bottom. I wish I could put it higher, but that's just how it goes. Like, I can't personally justify putting it any higher than this. The Fishman Island Saga is next, and a lot of people also really don't like these this stretch of the series, and I also get it. Like, the Straw Hats are overpowered now, and because of that, the fights are really bad, or at the very least, they're nowhere near as good as in a lot of other parts of the series. And that's just because the Straw Hats aren't really struggling at this point. They have to be OP because the time skip just happened, and so a lot of people just feel like they were cheated because Fisherman Island was built up for very, very long, and it just ended up being a, wow, look at how strong the Straw Hats thing is. But I do like a lot about Fishman Island as an arc. And the reason why I'm not mentioning Return to Sabaody very much is because it only really serves to directly set up that they're going to Fishman Island. So, yeah, like, as an overarching thing, it's not really that... As an overarching thing within the saga itself, it's not very good, but I like how it expands a lot on the grander overarching thing of how how human and fishman racism affects the fishman population. And like, yeah, like that theme is explored really well, even though Horty Jones, and yes, I say Horty, a lot of people, like most people say Hody. I don't like how that sounds. The anime's, like the Crunchyroll subs and the anime's dubs say Horty, so I say Horty. If you don't like that, you can suck my dick. But yeah, I think that while Horty Jones is not a very powerful villain, he does serve the purpose of exemplifying that aspect, or that theme, very well. And I like that a lot. And the next one, I don't know if people are gonna, like, say this is too low, or be mad, but, I'm putting the East Blue Saga next. The very beginning stretch of the series, the first 100 chapters of the manga, the first 50 episodes of the anime. And, yeah. Obviously, these are very classic adventures that these characters are going on. The whole thing that they have going where they're, like, putting together a crew steadily over time and beating up bad guys in East Blue. Like, yeah, it's all well and good. Even overarchingly, it works really well because, like, a lot of things are tied together really quickly in this part of the story, compared to much later on. And like a lot of like really good backstories happen at this point. A lot of really iconic moments and character introductions. But I like the payoff phase of One Piece a lot more than the setup phase. Because a lot of the time when One Piece is setting things up, it doesn't feel like setup. Like, sure, you got things like Luffy establishing that he wants to become king of the pirates and find One Piece, and Zoro wanting to beat Mihawk up. Like, those things are very clearly established from early on as, like, overarching goals, but, like, then you have, like, random one-off things like Jinbei being name-dropped, or like, the three great powers being established, stuff like that, and, like, that's cool when you reread it, and I do like rereading the East Blue Saga mainly because of the things that get explained a lot later. But, yeah, when you're first going through the East Blue Saga, it doesn't really feel like anything that special. And, like, it's entertaining enough. I like it. I like it a lot, obviously. But just, like, the setup phase of things in One Piece is just not as interesting as the payoff phase, in my opinion. So, yeah. Next we have the Alaasta Saga, which is mainly this high because of the arc it's named after. Alabasta itself is one of my favorite arcs in the entire series, as it covers very, very interesting conflicts, has an awesome villain, and, like, some really damn good fights. Like, the story is, like, top-notch as well. Like, I love it. But we're judging this as a saga, and the quality of a lot of the arcs leading up to, um, Alabasta are kind of questionable. Like, I don't know if I'm I don't know if I'm in the minority with this opinion or not, but I don't really think Reverse Mountain and Whiskey Peak are that great, even though, and this is definitely an unpopular opinion, Zoro versus the 100 Bounty Hunters is my favorite fight for that character, for Zoro specifically. That's my favorite Zoro fight. But, like, Little Garden's pretty cool, and then Drum Island just completely takes a left turn, and, like, I get that the Straw Hats needed a doctor, but this was a very awkward time for them to do that. Like, even in the arc, they're like, we can't stay here for very long. We need to go to Alabasta and beat up Crocodile. And it's just like, yeah, like, Baroque Works is not even a fucking presence on Drum Island at all. So, pretty much, like, it kind of feels a little unfocused at that point, but then just goes straight into amazing stuff when they actually get to Alabasta. That's the only reason why it's not much higher, and definitely would be above at least one of the next sagas if it had been a bit stronger in the overarching department. The next one on the list is the Dressrosa Saga, and yeah, I'm definitely of the minority opinion that Punk Hazard was a really fun arc, and it serves to set up more than just Dressrosa, obviously, because it's where the direct build-up to Wano actually started, but then we go to Dressrosa itself, and, like, Dressrosa is a really good arc that just goes on for way too long. Like, I personally think that there's way too many things happening in Dressrosa all at once, and it feels very, very bloated a lot of the time. But it also has a lot of individual elements that are fantastic. So, yeah. Two really damn good arcs put together. I like it a lot. Just wish that the payoff phase was not as long and drawn out as it was. Because, like, especially if you're like me and you watched the anime for Dressrosa weekly as it was coming out. I am currently reading the manga up to where I am in the anime from the beginning, and I'm hoping that when I get to Dressrosa in the manga, it'll feel like a much more focused experience. Because, yeah, I want to put this saga higher, because I love Doflamingo. I think he's a fantastic villain. One of my favorite characters in the entire series. It's just the arc he's in. It's just so long. But yeah, something I can definitely say that doesn't apply to is the next saga, which is the NES Lobby Saga. The NES Lobby Saga is, like, super duper emotional and has, like, fantastic fights and a really, really strong overarching story between Water 7, NES Lobby, and the Return to Water 7. Like, there's a lot of really strong stuff going on in this arc, with, like, a really cool villain group, a really, like, it's where Frankie is introduced, who is one of my favorite Straw Hats. and it's an arc that focuses on my waifu, so that's really, really good. Plus, it also has like a really good character arc for Usopp, who is my favorite character in the series. Really hard to avoid it saying that this is one of the best parts of One Piece in general. It's just, you need to know who these characters are in order to get into it, really. So it's kind of hard to recommend this be your first saga, although I'm me, so I obviously recommend reading or watching from the very beginning anyway. Still though, I don't know why I mentioned that. I'm talking about how good these are, so yeah. Anyway, the second best saga is the Yonko Saga right now. This opinion is very subject to change because I think that Wano is very, very close to living up to its potential to like take over as the best arc in all of One Piece right now. But I don't want to solidify that opinion until I finish it, which I won't for a long time because the anime takes weeks to come out, while the manga has already finished the arc. Anyway, I still think it is good to put the Yonko Saga this high because, like, Zou is a fascinating bridging arc that establishes the path to the end of the story. Whole Cake Island is a fantastic character study for my second favorite Straw Hat, while also having a lot of really cool powers and fights, and having a very strong emotional core. And Wano has just been overall fantastic from the beginning. Like, I care about fucking everything in Wano, and, like, I don't always care about everything in any individual arc. Like, the fact that Wano has been going on for over 100 episodes in the anime, and I didn't notice for a long time, is proof enough that I think that it deserves, like, at least this high a spot. Though, ask me later, it might end up being the best saga in the series. Plus, like, Luffy specifically gets a lot of development at this point. Like, more with his hockey, but, like, it's very compelling power development that works its way into his character development sometimes. Like, I just really like a lot of it. But yeah. Right now, as of right now, my favorite saga is definitely the Marineford Saga. It starts off kinda shaky. Like, Sabaody is a very strong arc to start on. It's like, starting off an overarching story where you group some arcs together with splitting up the main crew, or with splitting up this main crew and scattering them around the world in the most crushing defeat they have ever had, is so compelling. But then Luffy lands on Amazon Lily, and thankfully he doesn't stay there very long, but like, aside from a couple characters who are pretty eye candy-ish, Amazon Lily doesn't really have much going for it. Like, sure, the backstory of the Boa sisters is pretty sad, and I do care for them as characters a bit more than just, ooh, these two are really hot, and then there's the other one. But, like, there's not much going on in it. Like, until Luffy learns that Ace is in prison and scheduled to be executed, and then they go to Impel Down, the saga just kind of grinds to a bit of a halt. And then they go to Impel Down, and it's just constant knockout fucking awesome scenes. Like, am I the only person who thinks that Impel Down is like a god tier arc? Because it fucking is. And like, it has some of the most compelling action and like some of the most perilous situations. And like, it has Luffy fucking confronting Blackbeard for the first time since Jaya, knowing who Blackbeard is this time, and being completely outclassed by him. And, like, it's all tense and desperate because Luffy's just trying his best to save his brother even though he's way in over his head. And then it gets 100 times more that when he goes to Marineford. And, it gets 100 times more that when he goes to Marineford. And, like, everything in Marineford is just a giant clusterfuck in the best way possible. Where, like, so many top tier characters are, like, constantly fighting. And, like, during this, they still somehow keep up the mystery of what the fuck are Doflamingo's powers. And, like, they show hints of Mihawk's true power, and just everything about Whitebeard that he does during Marineford is so cool. Plus, we get to see, like, the two admirals we had seen actually fighting at what seems like full power. Plus, this new fucking complete dickhead admiral who's the most broken out of all of them. Fucking murdering people who disobey him. And being, like, the second strongest character there. Like, that's debatable, honestly. Like, I have no idea if that's actually the case, but, like, he was clashing with Whitebeard. I'm just saying. This is not a power scaling video, what am I doing? But, like, and then it ends with the, like, most heartbreaking shit where... and then it ends with the most shocking shit, where, like, Ace and Whitebeard both fucking die. And then you're just left wondering, holy fuck, now what? And the war is at an end, and, like, just... there's so much constant, amazing shit going on in the Marineford Saga, and I could not possibly put another arc, like, group of arcs above this at present. Because, like, I'll admit, I did say I care about everything with Wano. I do. But Wano does kind of drag at points, and it also still feels like, okay, it's an arc where the Straw Hats are intended to win the fight, even though it's, like, the hardest fight they've ever had. So, like, I know Wano's really compelling. I know Wano is very... I know Wano is probably gonna pull things out of itself that, like, I haven't been expecting. But, like, I don't know, there's something very special about Marineford right now. Like I said, Wano is close to encompassing Marineford as my favorite arc. But it's gonna need to do something, like, pretty mind-blowing in order to actually take that #1 spot. And, like, the Marineford Saga is not just the top because because Marineford is my favorite arc. It is up here because the overarching story, while it does drag a little bit during Amazon Lily, it stays focused on what the overarching goal of the saga is, and it does that so fucking well and makes me care so goddamn much that, like, I cannot physically help myself. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. If you've stuck around to the end, thank you very much. And, yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Bye.